Libya's rebel National Army says it has successfully finished the first stage of its offensive on Tripoli. It comes as more questions about EU involvement in the Libyan civil war are raised, with France confirming that 4 missiles found at a rebel base in the region belong to its military. But Paris denies supplying General Haftar's LNA, something that would amount to a violation of UN arms embargo. Now, RT Charlotte Dubinsky has been following developments.
For some time, France has been accused of playing a double game in Libya. It now seems the evidence for that claim could be growing. While Paris officially supports the UN-backed government of national accord, since 2015 it has helped to train the forces of the Libyan National Army, which is under the control of the rival Tobruk government. Spearheaded by the warlord Khalifa Haftar, the LNA's forces control large swathes of eastern Libya and are battling for control of Tripoli. While fighting has dramatically intensified since April, the conflict that's tearing up the country began back in 2011. Now it's emerged that 4 anti-tanker missiles that France bought from the US have been discovered at a base that's loyal to General Haftar, in a base south of the capital. These powerful weapons, the FGM-148 Javelin, are said to cost more than $170,000 apiece. Guided by infrared technology, they're capable of destroying all types of main battle tanks currently in deployment and can reach targets at a distance of around 2 kilometers. Discovered in a rebel camp just last month, the US State Department says it was able to verify using serial numbers that these weapons were in fact sold to France, leaving a big question as to how they ended up in the hands of the Libyan National Army. France admits that these are its weapons, but it denies it supplied them to the rebel forces.
Damaged and unusable, the armaments were being temporarily stocked at a depot ahead of their destruction. There was never any question of selling, yielding, loaning or transferring these munitions to anybody in Libya.
It also says the missiles were intended for the protection of a French military unit that had been deployed to carry out counter-terrorism operations. It seems inconceivable that a military unit would leave behind almost $700,000 worth of equipment, even if it was broken and unusable. But that's the story that they're sticking to, and perhaps there is good reason for this. If France is found to have supplied these weapons to General Haftar's army, that would violate the sales agreement with the US and, more importantly, a UN arms embargo. It would also put Paris and Washington at odds over Libya policy, not something two supposedly NATO allies want. The Javelin missiles were not the only foreign arms unearthed at the rebel camp. Artillery shells were also found, bearing the markings of the Emirati military. Its government has also denied providing the general's forces with the missiles. What this discovery suggests, though, is that the long-standing fears that foreign sponsorship of both governments in Libya is ratcheting up the tensions and possibly pulling the country ever further apart. Charlotte Dubinsky, RT, Paris.